What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about the market and break down some very important levels and some very important warnings I have about how things are going to likely pan out. But just note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, the market's about to close in about 15 minutes from the time I'm recording this. And with close approaching, you guys know we have something big coming out. We have a very, very major catalyst that's going to be Nvidia's earnings, and it's going to have a big effect on the way the market moves. We'll be listening to see what they end up saying about their products, their guidance, and how their current financials are looking. We're going to be listening to what they say about their EPS revenue and all these different factors, not to mention the future and what they see for their AI chips moving forward. They're also going to give us more insights about concerns, how they're going to address concerns about chip demand and other things like that. So it's going to be very, very important. We're going to be watching to see if they still get triple digit growth like we saw before, or if it's going to be slowing down. So it's going to be very, very important for the company, and I can't wait to see what they end up announcing. And I also want to mention to everyone that tomorrow, before the market opens, we have some important GDP numbers. I believe that this will be significant data, but it might not affect the market as much as Nvidia's earnings. I believe that's going to be more important to talk about in notes, but just know that for tomorrow before open, we have another catalyst, might cause some volatility as well. But the main thing is going to be Nvidia's earnings. They announce earnings today after the market ends up closing. So get ready for some crazy volatility. But that's why I want to give you guys this very important warning about how things are going to likely go. So we basically saw this big dump approaching Nvidia's earnings. Okay. Usually when that happens, it could be either a good sign or a bad sign, at least for this, because right now there's a lot of fear involved in the markets, a lot of like profit taking as you approach Nvidia's earnings. And with that happening, if Nvidia does really well, it could end up causing a big reversal reaction, or it could cause a continuation. It all depends, guys. I kind of don't want to just like tell you guys what I believe is the most likely possibility or just try to predict everything. It just doesn't make sense to do that because it's basically a coin flip at this point. There's a 50-50 chance of us going up or down. So it all depends. So with that being said, Nvidia is going to be key. If Nvidia dumps tomorrow, and if SPY ends up losing 555, we're going to be looking for a dip all the way down to 548 or lower. So I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case. And if we end up getting a big pump with Nvidia, SPY is going to be going all the way up towards the highs that we saw before around the 563 plus area. So we'll be watching to see, is SPY about to rally back up, or are we about to get a big rug pull? It all depends on Nvidia. So get ready for that. If you're going to hold anything overnight, it's your choice. You could make a lot of money either way. But like I said before, just know what the risks happen to be. Now, Nvidia, it hasn't really lost critical support. It hasn't really lost 123, but it also hasn't broken past 130. When you really zoom out of the chart, you guys can see that this has a nice structure. This has a nice accumulation structure, which generally does, look at some pretty good signals. I would say it kind of looks into those, but I can't make any promises because technicals are not everything. But I will tell you this: if we get a good move from Nvidia and things are very bullish, there's a 14 points plus expected move, so we could easily be going up towards the 140 area if we're bullish. If we're bearish, we could be dumping all the way down closer to about 117, if not the 110 area. So I'll be watching to see which way we end up going. We could go either way, so be open minded, and whatever you guys want to play, it's your choice. But there's going to be a huge move nonetheless. For Bitcoin has dipped quite a bit. We'll be watching to see if we reclaim the 60,000 area and start pushing back up towards these EMAs at 61,500, or if we get a big rug pull all the way down to about 56,000. So I'll be watching that very carefully. I'll see what that ends up causing. Did I say 6,100? I meant 61,000, guys. Sorry about that. That's where our EMAs are, 61,000. Anyways, ES, okay, we're also range bound. If ES is bullish, let me show you this real quick. We need to see ES basically continue to hold this. We need to get good earnings from Nvidia, and that could launch us back up to the highest towards 56.50. If not, if we get a rug pull, we want to see this lose 55.80, and that could drive us all the way down. I would say possibly to, if not below, our 200 EMA to 55.28, if not the 5,500 flat area. So I'll be watching to see, do we get a bounce? Do we get a drop? We have to be very, very patient. Tesla has a bullish falling wedge that is developing from a technical standpoint, but as you know, technicals are not entirely sufficient. You can't just say, oh, Tesla's going to bounce because there's a falling wedge. Nope. It depends on Nvidia's earnings. This does suggest that there is a somewhat higher likelihood that it does try to bounce. I would say that, but it's just a likelihood. It's not a guarantee. So if we get a big bounce and a break out of this falling wedge, we're easily going to go up to 212 or higher and possibly back up to the 220s. If we get a rug pull with Nvidia's earnings, we're going to be looking for this to dip all the way down to the next imbalance. I think we'd be tipping all the way down closer to like 198, if not even below that, towards 194. So I'll be watching to see what ends up being the case. If a falling wedge-like structure, we'll see if we break or not. So be very, very patient, and we'll see how this ends up going. Once again, this does give us more confluences and more of a higher probability of us getting upside, at least somewhat, but nothing's guaranteed, and always be careful with the earnings coming out. For NQ, okay, we're range bound, but you will see that we have a potential flag that could be forming, a nice little bull flag. Are we about to see this thing break out of this and start pushing for that 20,000 plus area and eventually break that? Or are we about to get a big rug pull and we just continue to dump and this flag ends up getting invalidated and we just start dumping straight down towards the low 19,000s? Depends on Nvidia's earnings. Straight up, it just depends on Nvidia. We'll just have to wait and see. I can't really predict this, so you just want to be open minded as well. For the QQQ, okay, the same thing is developing. We basically have this very similar looking potential bull flag. Will we break through this and start pushing for 485 plus and eventually into the 490s over the next couple of weeks? Or will we see a big rug pull and continue to dump all the way down to at least 464, if not 460? I don't know for sure, guys. We could go either way. So it's up to you guys if you want to play this. If I were to play this, I would just manage risks very, very well. I would even hedge if I could. So I would recommend looking into hedging if you guys are interested in that. And just be very, very careful with the risk management during times of uncertainty like these. For Apple, we pushed up to about 230, came back down. We're still completely range bound. It all depends on Nvidia. Will we break past 230 to turn bullish and remain bullish? Or are we about to see a rug pull? It all depends on their earnings. So we'll see how it ends up going. For the IWM Russell 2000, we hit support right here. So generally, since we're at this support where this white trend line happens to maybe bounce off this 1, 2, 3 times, there's a good chance I might try to bounce off supports if we hold and if Nvidia does well. If Nvidia doesn't do well and we get the rug pull, we'll be looking for us to break below 216, and that's going to launch us down to 214, then 212. So we watch to see if we hold support and bounce. That's going to be very key, so give that some time. For just 5 more, we have Coinbase, which is dipping. Will we hold 188 and rebound to 200 plus, or do we get a big rug pull down to fill the gap towards 178? Could go either way. You want to be open-minded nonetheless. Amazon has dipped down to about 169. Are we going to continue to dump all the way down to these lows into the mid 160s, or do we bounce and break past the mid 170s? So it could go either way. We're just waiting for Nvidia. Meta is going to either pump all the way up to about 525 plus, or we may be dumping back down to below 510, like 508, and eventually this next support at 504. So we'll see which way it goes. For Microsoft, we have resistance basically at 415. We could be pushing back up there, or we could be looking for a rug pull back down towards 404. And then for Google, Google basically has resistance at 166. We'll see if we break through that to get to 168, or if we get a big rug pull and we start dumping all the way down towards 160, the 161 area. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be very, very open-minded nonetheless and give this the time it needs. Just know the market is indecisive, and whatever happens, happens. It's not my job to tell you guys what will happen on a day like this because I don't know what's going to happen with Nvidia's earnings. And like I said before, it's basically a coin flip. So if you're holding anything overnight, be prepared and be very, very conscious of what the risks are. Okay, it's on you guys. Whatever you want to do, I'm not here to encourage you or discourage you. Do whatever you want to do. You can make crazy money, you could lose money. It's up to you, but get ready for what's about to come. With that being said, I'll be back in a few hours to give you guys an update on Nvidia's earnings. Until then, take care, guys. Stay strong, and we'll see how things go. I hope you guys have a great day. It's going to be very exciting to watch what Nvidia announces. Let's hope for the best, and we'll see how things go. Thank you for listening, and peace out.